Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another Minnesota Twins series preview. Let's talk about it. We're talking about the Kansas City Royals. This is going to be a fun little series. We're at home. It is Joe Mauer retirement weekend. It is going to be exciting. Sunday and I believe tomorrow are already sold out. So if you're going to the game, that's exciting. I think they're very close to selling out tonight as well. But yeah. We get Kansas City, should be some winnable games at home. They're very similar, if not even worse, than the Mariners, so we should do well. We also get them next week, so we get to see a lot of Kansas City. So hopefully, we can get some notes down now. It's going to be tougher when we go to Kansas City, of course, as we did back in April 2nd and 3rd were the last two times we played Kansas City. The only two times we have played Kansas City this year. We won 5-4 and 7-6. The 5-4 game was in 10 innings. So the only other game that we went into extra innings besides the one against Seattle. And we won that game. But now we get them at home. Like I said, it's Joe Mauer bobblehead, or not bobblehead, but retirement weekend. Retire his numbers, a bunch of festivities going around. Also, we get some great pitching matchups. I'll go through them right now. Gibson versus Keller. Odorizzi versus Sparkman. And Perez versus Junis. Our starting rotation has been fantastic. I know there's a lot of people trying to say, hey, maybe we should put Perez in the bullpen. I'm for that. Perez in the bullpen, get rid of a guy out there. We only need 3 or 4 starters, I think, going into the playoffs. So you know what? Let's put Perez in the bullpen. If you want to get rid of Pineda, sure, but he's been pitching really well. Gibson, Odorizzi, and Barrios have been doing pretty good as well. So our starting rotation is great, right? We probably should figure it out, a little bit more before we go into the playoffs. But right now, all of them are getting wins. All of them are producing solid, quality starts, good innings. And sometimes, we just don't score any runs, like with Barrios or even with Perez. We gave up a couple of runs, but we came back. So it's like all these guys are doing great. Pineda's even doing great, But realistically, it's our bullpen, right? So that's going to play a factor. We used a lot of guys this weekend against Seattle. None of them really did great. I hope that Rogers can come back, but we got to deal with it, and hopefully our starting pitchers can do well, get a lot of run support, and go into these innings. As Kansas City is not the greatest team. So let's talk about Gibson first. Obviously, we'll start with today's game. Gibson, he's really done well. He's not our ace, we know that, but his ERA right around 4. It was going down every time in those couple of wins. The last time he pitched was against Detroit, and he got rocked. It's fine. It happens. He gave up 5 earned runs in that start. He hasn't given up 5 earned runs since at least Toronto back on April 16th. So he had a bad start, right? Gave up 2 home runs, struck out 8, so he strikes out a lot, guys, but walked 2 and only went 5 innings. Gave up 8 hits as well, which is the second most since that Toronto series. He's been doing great, though, other than, one bad start, really. And his ERA is 4.14, excuse me. His win-loss is 6-3. He's got 71 strikeouts, a whip of 1.3. It's not bad, right? It's not bad. If he has a good start, he will be fine. And he just had a couple of bad starts, right, at the beginning of the year. That's why those numbers are a little bit inflated, in my opinion. And then that one bad start last time. But he's going up against Keller, who is, I believe, a bullpen guy, because that's what ESPN says. Is that he has a 4.3 ERA, 0 saves, 58 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.4. He has started, I guess. It's just really weird that they don't. His record is really 3-8, but I don't know. They use him, I guess, as the starter, right? The actual starter that will go into the game, but they don't have his win-loss record on ESPN, which is really weird. But it's fine. In the last 3 starts, he has faced some pretty bad teams, including 2 against the White Sox. He's gone a lot of innings, though. He eats up a lot of innings, 7-6, 7-8, but he gets rocked quite a bit. 10 hits, 9 hits, 5 hits, gives up runs, 4, 3, and 2. He also doesn't strike out a lot of guys, only 3, 6, and 4 in those last 3 starts that were losses for him. So this is definitely a guy that we can knock around a little bit. I don't see a reason why we shouldn't be able to knock somebody like this around. I mean, in his, last 10 games, he's got 2 wins. And only one of them he got the win in. Otherwise, it's been loss, no decision, loss, win, loss, So, very capable of hitting this guy. I don't think we should have a problem in this game. Especially, Gibson might give up a couple runs, right? He might not go 6 shutout innings or whatever. He might give up a run or 2, but with that guy on the mound against him, probably going to be a little bit more high scoring. I think we can get the win, though, and hopefully we can knock around Keller. He's a right-handed batter. It seems as if, Cruz and Garver and all these other guys, Buxton, hit right-handed batters better. Is that a thing? Am I noticing that, or am I just crazy? Because I swear, Tommy Milone, he doesn't even throw 90 miles an hour, and he was striking guys out looking on, change-ups and fastballs, basically right down the middle. And he was a lefty. I mean, it just doesn't make sense why Garver and Cruz are watching a 80-mile-an-hour fastball over the middle of the plate. So, I mean, it just seems as if right-handed batters do better against our right-handed pitchers, or their right-handed pitchers. So, we should get the win there. Let's go on to Sparkman and Odorizzi. We all know how good Odorizzi is. Let's just talk about that really quick. In his last 10 games, it is WWWWWWWWWW. That's a lot of W's. And then, of course, one time he did not get the W. It was a no decision. So, I mean, he has faced some tough guys. Toronto, Houston, New York, LA, Tampa Bay, Detroit. Those are not the easiest teams, and we've done well against them. Obviously, he lost his first 2 games of the season, but then he has gone on a rampage. He doesn't pitch the most innings, right? I think maybe we all, think of Odorizzi as this great guy. Obviously he is. Don't get me wrong about that. But he only pitches 5 to 6 innings, right? He's not going to get you into the 9th and the 8th inning. But when he's on, he is really good. He still pitches up to about the 100 limit, even though he only gets through 6 innings, which is not only getting through 6 innings. You know what I mean? But, he's not going to get you. You got to work on your bullpen, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But, he doesn't give up home runs. He doesn't give up runs at all. The only time he gave up the most runs he's given up is 3, and it was in the LA game at home on May 15th, where he gave up 9 hits. I mean, that was his worst start ever. He still got the win in that game as we came back and we're doing great. Got a lot of run support in that game, but other than that, he does well. We all know that. So let's just move on. His ERA is under 2, 9-2 record, 78 strikeouts, a whip of under 1, by the way. So let's go to Sparkman, who he will be facing. Sparkman has a 3.58 ERA, 1-2 record, 21 strikeouts, a whip of 1.3. This guy, again, not the greatest pitcher. He's lost, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row, even though he's only gotten the decision in one of them, which was his last start. I don't know if he is considered an opener or something like that. He's only pitched. Maybe he got moved up as a starter because his last 2 starts he's gone over 5 innings. But other than that, it's been 1-3-1-3-1. So probably doesn't. If they use him as an opener or something like that, he does fine. He doesn't give up a lot of runs. In his worst start is against the White Sox this year, where he pitched 1 inning, gave up 3 hits and 4 runs. So I mean that's his worst start. Other than that, his last start against the White Sox was 6 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. So, I mean, he doesn't give up a ton of runs, but if we can knock him around early, again, I think we can get the win. That I think is an easy game to pick. We should get the win there because it's Odorizzi. He's not going to give up a lot of runs anyway, so if we get 1 or 2, that might be enough. And then, of course, Perez. Perez has been doing fine. Nothing to worry about. ERA just under 4, 7-2 record, 67 strikeouts, a whip of 1.45. In his last start, in the last 2 starts, actually, he hasn't gotten a decision, and then he got the loss against Tampa Bay. But he's faced some tough teams in Cleveland, Tampa Bay, Seattle. Didn't get any run support. We had to come back in those games. You know what I'm saying? So I think he deserves a good bounce-back start here against Kansas City. And he's going up against Junis. 5.53 ERA, 4-6 record, 71 strikeouts, a whip of 1.4. This is a guy who's very streaky on the mound. He'll give you good innings, 5, 6, 7 innings very consistently, but he doesn't win a lot, right? He's gone against some tough teams in Houston, Philly, LA, New York, Texas, Boston, LA again, and Tampa Bay twice. I mean, he gets tough teams, okay? The Twins are a tough team, right? And he's got that high ERA, gives up a good couple of runs every game. Again, should be able to take this victory. But you know what? I'd say if we had one, if I had to pick, because I said we're gonna take 2 of 3 for sure. If we can get the sweep, that's even better. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say it would be Sunday's game. That would be a little bit worse, I guess, for the Twins, just because of not anything knocking Perez, but he just hasn't gotten the run support, and he struggled just a little bit with that cutter. So if he can get that back on track for a good bounce back game, I think we'll be fine. But other than that, Sunday's game would be the toughest, the game to watch, the toughest game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you missed last night's video, make sure to check right here, or here, somewhere on the screen. And of course, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.